Okay. Yeah, Mr. Chairman and fellow panelists, I know I'm very aware of the time constraints. This particular session is focusing on market-led extension for promotion of agri-exports. Here I know, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ರೈತರು ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ನಿಮಗೂ ಈ ಮಾರಾಟದ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಹೇಗಿರಬೇಕು, ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾರಾಟಕ್ಕೆ ಒತ್ತುವರಿ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಈ ಸೆಷನಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮುಂದೆ ಇಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಈ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್-ಲೆಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಷನ್ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿ, we are all, in the agricultural extension, we use the package of practices, which gives the kind of, the package, what kind of agricultural practices, what kind of, that has to be followed based on the new technology developed, etc. But unfortunately, the package of practices ends, with the quantity be expected harvest level. Beyond harvest, the package of practice doesn't go. This is the biggest problem. For a farmer, production is one side, marketing is the other side. But both are, two sides of the same coin, both are very important. But what has happened is, all these years, the emphasis has been on production extension. It is mainly due to the fact that historically, we started all these extension programs to grow more food. So we have been growing more food, but we never said we should market efficiently when the more food is grown. Same thing will happen for, this is very applicable for farmer producer companies also. So the concept of market-led extension is, there is production extension, there should be a plus, that is the market-led extension, marketing practices and market planning, how to really, both sides, both for buying the inputs and also for the sale of the agricultural commodities, the marketing management which we have been talking. Speaker after speaker this morning till now indicated the importance of agriculture marketing. For example, you may say, what kind of simple decisions, like, how to produce, where to sell, how to sell, to whom to sell, because there are many marketing agencies. For example, farmer producer company also comes across which marketing channel to choose. When the whole agricultural economy is changing, who has to give all this to the farmers? Farmers, they are not given, marketing courses or management courses. They should also be, trained to become agripreneurs, agribusinessmen, to face the market challenges. That is the sum and substance of the market-led extension. The farmer should be prepared to undertake the marketing of both, the purchase of inputs and the sale of his output in an efficient manner, so that he realizes higher realization and higher benefits. So at one end, production extension is there, the other end is complemented by the marketing extension. In the marketing extension, we have seen that the Indian agricultural marketing is becoming so big. We produce 330 million tons of food grains, out of which nearly 130 million tons of rice, etc. And we also export about 18 million tons of rice and 9 million tons of wheat. I think Chandrasekhar, we may many times get into the question, if you are not able to export so much, what will happen? So this is the main question. This comes in that we need to grow our exports should grow, for which the farmers should be prepared. The extension agencies should be prepared. First, the extension agency, capacity building of the extension people and the whole extension system, where we integrate the production and the marketing system, and we develop an agribusiness extension which can be used by farmer producer companies and all kind of farmers. And when this happens, for example, a lot of things will happen in the marketing. So certainly for many commodities, we have to export. If you don't export, the domestic market will collapse. For example, I told you 19 million tons of rice, if it is not exported, even if half of it is not exported, what will happen? If you release it in the market will collapse. This is where we have to prepare our farmers. When we are able to do this much, for example, India has emerged as one of the top 10 exporting countries in the world, which hitherto was not there. So that means our farmers are capable of that, but they need to be provided a lot of training, like, for example, we'll have to farmer clusters. We have been discussing one district, one product. There's a very good concept, but need not have to restrict to one product. Then we have to change, this morning we talked about value chain development. The value chain development is a very good concept. And in the value chain, the producer companies or farmer intervention groups can be the biggest players. They can understand and they can undertake the production level, aggregation level, packing, and also in the logistic part. But in the marketing and the export, it is always better to identify a value chain leader who is a corporate, because they are very good in marketing. Farmer producer companies can do, but your ability to do will be very much limited. As far as, for example, as usually what happens in this value chain development is, first we develop local value chains, then we move into the higher level, regional value chains, national value chains, export value chains. There is a stage, and this is where the preparation is but required. As I indicated, as farmer producer companies, first, you must prepare your farmers for a good agriculture practices. Unless, because the good agriculture practices, not only for exports, even for the domestic market. Once you do that, the GAP itself is a value addition. That means the product is differentiated in the eyes of the consumer, stating that already there is a good agriculture practices. And next level, we will have to move into some kind of group certification, because individual certification is very difficult. Group certification is very important, because certifications are a necessity. Then the farmers should be taught to use, approved chemicals, where the MRL, maximum residual levels, etc., farmers are not aware. This is where the role of the farmer producer companies have an important role to play. Then of course the traceability. Traceability has become an important one. Without traceability, because if you take the European market or any other market, they insist on traceability. So traceability has to be built in from day one. That is where this has to come in, as a built in the whole in the marketing. So my sum and substance is, we have to move from the present extension system, for which we need to gear up the whole extension system. Certainly, the people has to be upgraded, and the extension material has to be. For example, you need to understand the market information, market analysis, market forecasting, so that the farmers are able to sell their market based on those things. So the extension system has to be completely modified, or I would say it should be rebuilt. For example, a lot of people, we talk about the virtual markets. Why virtual markets are not happening in agricultural commodities? Because there is no standardization and grading and assortment of the commodities, and also the warehouse facilities are limited. And for example, though the warehouse receipt is a negotiable instrument which can be traded, but farmers are not awarded. For example, if I have a warehouse receipt, it can be used like a check. I can sell that commodity, but how many farmers know it? This is where the role of the extension comes in. For example, even to do a virtual market, the extension system should gear up, where they have to train institutions, they have to train the farmers, etc. More than anything else, they must have the capability to understand the market and what kind of product is required. It's very difficult to the farmers. Farmers doesn't interact with the consumers. Farmer doesn't interact with the middlemen or the assorters, graders, packers, movers, etc., or logistic players. But this extension agency should see that they are provided this kind of facilities, so that they meet the requirements what the domestic or the export market needs. I would say we'll need to have build up an ecosystem of marketing extension, imbibing both production. Then all the producers will get the benefit. Thank you.